Gadget. She is a ranged caster who uses her trusty bots to control and deny large areas. Her affinities are intellect and order. Today we're going to look into her basic stats, how to play her, and my overview of this hero. So if you wish to go to a certain point in the video, it should be annotated on screen now. And if you enjoy this video, it's always appreciated to subscribe, as I'd like to do a lot of guides on this good game. But anyway, let's get on with it. Her base stats are shown on screen now. With health, when you hit level 15 you will have 1444 HP, and you honestly don't want much more than this. The max I would ever have is around 2000, but it all depends. If new to her, adding more health to survive could be worth it. You never want to be on the front lines anyway. Mana caps out at 1234 with a regen of 5.1 per second. With the Monolith update, mana scales significantly better on casters, so not much more is needed in your deck. Personally, I only add around another 100 or 2 mana to her, with a bit more regen added on top. It does plenty to keep me in fights, while I can focus more on damage. It's a good balance. Unlike physical and energy armor, basic and ability armor scale differently. For Gadget, her ability armor is higher at 30.5, while the basic attack armor is 22 when level 15. Her basic attack Plasma Blast starts at 53 damage, ending at 55.4 with a cooldown of 1.2 seconds, so nothing unusual here. Now let's look at her abilities. Her Seek and Destroy ability, when activated, releases a bot that does damage over time and movement reduction for 3 seconds. This ability will stop when hitting a surface, so it can overshoot, especially when new to Gadget. However, you can re-click the ability to lock it in place. It's a fantastic ability to CC minions and to slow enemies down due to its huge range. If used correctly, you can catch up to an opponent and finish them off. I have even used it to poke enemies to finish them off from behind towers just because of its insane range. Before, your speed gate was your main use of escape, but due to its nerf, throwing this down instead is the best way to gain distance from opponents. The Sticky Mine ability you can throw down in a certain area. It will attach to any unit within the large radius, focusing enemy players first. After releasing it only takes 2.5 seconds to do the ability damage. This is your prime source of damage. The large radius at the moment means it's honestly harder to miss a target. It's extremely mana hungry, however, with 160 cost at level 4, so you want to use it on the weaker sorts of heroes, either casters or carries preferably. Speed Gate gives Gadget, ally teammates and minions a movement speed for 3.5 seconds. The gate lasts for 5 seconds, and deals damage to any enemy that passes through it. Now in Legacy, this was the bread and butter of a good Gadget player. It gave a great amount of movement speed, so pushing lades, retreating or even catching opponents up was very possible. Now Monolith, this ability doesn't really have much of a use. It is a very low mana cost of 40, but it doesn't do much for wave clear, and I only use it in a panic to try save me or another teammate. The Telesta Dome is Gadget's ultimate ability. It's a dome that lasts for 4 seconds, doing 5 ticks of damage. The overall damage starts at 350 and goes up to 540. This is a great wave clear tool, and even more a big unexpected damage dealer. It does a lot of damage quickly, and drop it in the middle of a team fight just behind your opponent can leave them between a rock and a hard place. Now early game from Gadget, you want to stick in your lane and focus on that farming, majority of the time being in the mid lane. I've seen too many players get carried away with harassing their opponent laner with a sticky mine to get the early kill. Loss out on farm and overextending makes you a high possibility to be ganked. The only time I would attempt this if my opponent doesn't have a health potion early on. Gadget can offlane rather well too. Having good CC and her long range ability means she can stay away from trouble is always a benefit, even poking the enemy carry. As for upgrading your abilities, you want to focus on that sticky mine as it's your main source of damage, and upgrading your Seek and Destroy because it does do a deceiving amount of damage over time. I would use the Seek and Destroy if I really needed to defend my lane and leave my Sticky Mine to do damage to heroes. You don't want to spam them or you're going to run out of mana pretty quickly. Once you get your Telesta Dome, you can definitely keep your lane in check. Once I hit level 5 and I know I'm going to TP back to base, I use my ultimate to quickly clear the wave, even using the speed gate on the minions if I have enough mana left. This keeps the opponent Elena in lane while I'm getting a lead in card power. Getting early game towers is a lot harder now, which does make Gadget's early game pushing capabilities a bit obsolete compared to other casters. Using the Seek and Destroy to slow the enemy minions down is a great tool also, control the complete tempo of the lane. It's harder to do if you don't have a card experienced lead Don't be afraid to use a Telestodone on minion waves also if they are really pushing your tower. It's not much use unless in team fights, and in the early game there's not going to be much of them. I usually have a good balance for cards. Shade's Ward for health, while getting an early game Ant Crystal upgrade gives me damage and a bit more mana to help keep me in lane. When mid game arrives, this is when Gadget becomes a big threat. She can push lanes very effectively, so she can spend plenty of time rotating to help other lanes out. If rotating, dropping your eye behind the enemy and using your slow to keep people inside it, then pick as the weakest target, the Sticky Mine hopefully should finish the kill off. And this time I normally purchase a Teleblink. It's a 6-point card that you can use as a blink charm. It consumes 75 mana and has a 15-second cooldown. If you are hit from an enemy hero, you can't use it for 5 seconds, so you have to be careful. It's a great defensively to get out of trouble before it even starts, but even more so aggressively. You don't expect a Gadget to come out of nowhere, and then change the tide of the team fight. You can even see me here chasing down this Gideon, losing the Teleblink as an aggressive move. When late game hits, making sure all lanes are pushed in your favour is your main job while being in the team fight. A fantastic Gadget player can control and dictate a team fight while hardly being close to the action. Using your ult, you can split the enemy team up, as I'm showing right now, placing it just behind them so they're stuck. With Speed Gate, I would only use to escape from the fight if either you or your teammates are hurt. Only rarely, if the fight is almost over, would I use it to catch up fleeing enemies if I can't use my blink. Talking about fleeing enemies, Gadget can hunt them down like no other. Her Seek and Destroy has almost a range of 3 times a basic attack. You can block exits and trap them from impending doom. Compare her to a similar hero of Gideon. Late game, his ultimate is the main focus of the fight, so he can't do anything else and leaves him very vulnerable if not executed right. Gadget can drop hers and the enemy team may not even know, while she is still being a headache for the opposition. You want to focus on those weaker players in the team fights. Trying to take down a tank isn't going to end well for you with not doing much damage. However, on a ranger or carry, you can keep them in the fight while doing considerable damage to them, and this is how you play Gadget. Here are a few examples showing me focus these carries down and taking them out as quickly as possible while saving my own from danger. Though overall I believe she's a very good hero, my favourite mid laner for sure. It is hard to learn when to use your abilities correctly as they cost a lot, but while she is a caster I have most fun on. Not much counters her compared to Gibbon. With a single stun can cancel his ult, she can disrupt the enemy team while dealing significant damage. So to go over it again quickly, use your Seek and Destroy and Sticky Mine to keep players in the fight, especially the weaker heroes, while using your ult to split them up or put them in a tight spot for your team to capitalise on. Now I'm not going to do a proper build for in this video, and that will be in another video hopefully in the next few days, so you can definitely subscribe to that, and I'm definitely going to be doing a lot more guides hopefully on this kind of level for most casters and carries, and probably the odd jungler too. So hopefully they'll be out in the next few weeks, and definitely subscribe for those, and I'll catch you next time guys.